Have you ever had someone betray you, and you knew the truth, but said nothing? Have you ever been wronged so deeply, and still, chose silence, not out of weakness, but from wisdom? There are moments in life when saying nothing is more powerful than saying everything. We live in a world where everyone wants to be heard. Everyone wants to respond. To clap back. To get the last word. But not you. Because you're learning the ancient art of restraint. Because you're practicing Stoicism, the philosophy that teaches us to master ourselves, not the world. And you've started to understand something most people never will. Karma doesn't need your help. In this video, we're not just talking about being quiet. We're talking about when to be quiet, and why staying silent can be the most powerful response of all. Because silence, used wisely, isn't avoidance. It's control. It's dignity. It's letting the universe balance the scales, without you throwing a punch. Let's be honest. Silence feels impossible when someone insults you, lies about you, or tries to make you look small. But every moment you resist the urge to retaliate, you rise. In today's video, I'll walk you through 7 powerful situations where your silence isn't weakness, it's your superpower. Where speaking would only drain you, and saying nothing allows karma, and your own peace, to do the work. These are the moments Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca lived by. And once you understand them, you'll never look at conflict the same way again. You don't need to fight every battle. You don't need to correct every lie. You don't need to show up to every argument you're invited to. Because sometimes, the most devastating thing you can do is rise in silence. And let karma speak for you, louder than your words ever could. So if you're ready to tap into real Stoic power, if you're ready to protect your energy, master your emotions, and let karma carry the burden, stay with me. Because these 7 moments might just change the way you walk through the world. Silence can be a powerful strategy in a world filled with noise. When your words are twisted, truth is weaponized, and your reactions become entertainment, you're in a psychological game. The more you try to explain, react, or prove yourself, the more power you concede and the more obvious it becomes that you're affected. Instead of fighting back, shouting to be heard, or justifying yourself, your greatest allies are silence and time. When you choose silence, you allow the natural forces of truth and karma to work. This isn't about fear, it's about strength, protecting your energy, preserving your dignity, and letting others face the consequences of their own actions. Silence isn't the absence of words, it's the presence of control. When to embrace silence, 7 powerful situations. Here are 7 situations where choosing silence demonstrates true wisdom and strength. 1. When you're lied about. Being lied about feels deeply unjust, and your immediate instinct might be to defend yourself. However, the more you explain, the more suspicious you appear. Those who spread lies aren't seeking truth, they're looking for a reaction to disrupt your peace. If you react, you've already lost. As Marcus Aurelius suggested, live by your integrity. Truth, unlike lies, has endurance, it reveals itself with time and doesn't require constant defense. How to respond: trust that falsehoods are fleeting while truth endures. Ground yourself in your values, and let karma address those who spread lies, as they often fall into their own traps. Silence, in this case, is self-respect, not surrender. 2. When you're betrayed. Betrayal is deeply painful, especially when it comes from those you trusted. Your first impulse might be to confront them, demanding answers. However, those who betray have often already rationalized their actions or simply don't care. Seeking closure from them only reopens your own wounds. They often seek your emotional reaction to feel validated and powerful. How to respond: give them nothing, no rage, no demands, just silence. This forces them to realize they've lost access not just to your words, but to your inner peace. Accept who they truly are, rather than clinging to a past version. Don't waste your energy on those who devalue you. Walking away silently compels betrayers to reflect, which is precisely what they try to avoid. You haven't lost, they have. 3. When you're insulted. Insults are cheap tactics used by the insecure to provoke a reaction. When someone insults you, whether directly or passive-aggressively, they're seeking validation through your emotional response. Reacting by snapping back or defending yourself hands them the control they crave. Marcus Aurelius advised that the best revenge is not to become like your enemy. How to respond: recognize that they're trying to disrupt your peace, not speak truth. Maintain your stillness. A calm demeanor sends a louder message than words: you don't control me. Your confidence and self-respect are demonstrated through your indifference, which is the most devastating response to an insult. 4. When someone plays the victim. Some individuals aren't interested in resolving issues, they want attention and to control the narrative by playing the victim. They'll twist facts, omit their role, and shed tears to cast you as the villain. The more you try to explain, the worse it appears, as you'll seem to be attacking someone who is hurting. As Epictetus noted, complaining is unproductive. Victim players seek sympathy, not solutions. How to respond: do not defend yourself, as they are performing, not listening. Remain emotionally detached. Trust that patterns of behavior reveal themselves over time. You don't owe clarity to someone who benefits from confusion. 5. When your worth is ignored. It's insulting when your contributions, care, and presence are met with indifference. The more you try to prove your worth, the less it's recognized, because people often only value what they fear losing. As Seneca stated, time reveals truth. Sometimes, the truth they need to discover is your absence. How to respond: stop chasing. If they don't see your value when you're present, let them feel its absence. Say nothing, allowing your silence to create awareness. Observe who makes an effort. Those who truly value you won't need a reminder. Your worth is proven not by your effort, but by the distance you create. 6. When you're provoked. Some people intentionally prod and poke you with hurtful comments, not out of bravery, but to feel powerful by eliciting a reaction. The moment you flinch, they win. Marcus Aurelius taught that you have power over your mind, not external events. You can't stop others from provoking you, but you can deny them the reaction they desperately want. How to respond: identify the pattern of their behavior. Maintain your composure and don't let emotional bait pull you into their game. Your calmness becomes your power, rendering them powerless. Not every provocation deserves your energy. 7. When they regret losing you. When someone has taken you for granted and then realizes you're gone, the silence they once ignored becomes deafening with regret. Epictetus emphasized self-mastery, which means you don't return to situations or people that caused you pain. How to respond: don't make it easy for them to return. If your value was invisible, let your absence remain a stark reality. Resist the urge to explain, let them feel the weight of their own actions. Stand firm in your silence, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. They had their chance and squandered it. Final thought. You don't need to shout to be heard, fight to win, or speak to make a statement. In a world addicted to noise and performance, silence is one of the most powerful responses you can offer. It cuts through the chaos like a blade, not with force, but with clarity. Silence is not a sign of weakness or surrender, it's the expression of someone who has outgrown the need for validation and no longer seeks to prove their worth in unworthy places. When you choose silence, you step into a higher form of strength. You remove yourself from the battlefield where ego, insecurity, and drama are at war. You refuse to play games that cost your peace. In that stillness, you reclaim your power, not by controlling the narrative, but by trusting that truth eventually surfaces, and that justice, in one form or another, always finds its way. You see, life has a rhythm. What's done in the dark eventually comes to light. Lies decay under the weight of time. Betrayals reveal the betrayer more than the betrayed. And silence? It echoes longer than any shouted words ever could. When you are lied about, betrayed, insulted, or provoked, pause. Resist the urge to explain yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. Don't feed energy to what thrives on your reaction. Some things are beneath response. Some people, undeserving of access to your spirit. Let them speak. Let them twist the truth. Let them perform for an audience you no longer care to entertain. You don't owe anyone a scene. What you owe yourself is peace. What you owe your growth is discipline. And what you owe the future is a version of you who knows the difference between power and impulse. So the next time you find yourself in the middle of a storm, breathe, observe, detach. Let karma be your response, silence your shield, and self-respect your answer. Because the strongest one in the room isn't always the loudest. It's the one who no longer feels the need to be loud at all.